If you thought that building a moat around your home was the ultimate in home security, well, think again. In a world where security is paramount, the ultra-wealthy spare no expense when it comes to protecting their homes, making crocodiles around the palace child's play. So grab your security blanket and join us as we take a tour of the 15 most protected castles and houses on the planet. Number 15. The Rice House. Welcome to the Rice House, which is not another failing food shop. Oh no, it's the ultimate billionaire's playground where safety is taken to the next level. This presidential diplomatic compound will make you feel like a superhero with secret entrances, fortified doors, and enough bulletproof glass to make Superman jealous. The Rice House has everything a rich person could ask for: infinity pools, personal bowling alleys, and massive car vaults, but that's not all. Every little nook and cranny is full of safety features that would make even Jason Bourne double take. With secret entrances, fortified doors, and ballistic panels, this place has it all. But don't forget the bedrooms, which are basically panic rooms. You'll be able to sleep soundly knowing that you're safe from any attackers, except for perhaps Freddy Krueger. The Rice House comes equipped with 15,000 square foot bunker in case things go really south, and if that's not enough, you can put the house in lockdown remotely from anywhere in the world. It's just like having your own personal fortress of solitude, except instead of fighting villains, you're just hiding from them. Plus, if an attacker does get in, you only hit the handy-dandy tear gas button to send them packing. For the ultimate survivalist, the Rice House is off the grid and self-sufficient, and you can live here indefinitely as the brain eaters spread their plague, with water from 3 1,000-foot deep artesian wells and power from, well, nobody's really sure where the power comes from, but it's definitely not from the electric company. The Rice House is where you can live like a presidential diplomat, or at least pretend to, and who knows, maybe someday a president or diplomat will actually use it. Remember, one cannot defeat what cannot be seen. Number 14. The Corby Residence. Step aside, James Bond, because there's a new secret agent in town, Al Corby. The security expert has created a Hollywood Hills fortress that would make even the most paranoid of people feel safe. In fact, the Rice House was only a warm-up for what Corby came up with. His own residence is a white art-covered palace that looks like your average multi-million-dollar home. That is, until you realize that it's actually a secret spy headquarters. Forget your keys, because the Corby family doesn't need them. They're living in the future with biometric recognition software at the entrance. The building's foundation is so solid, in fact, that it could survive an earthquake and the next ice age put together, thanks to concrete caissons that go 30 feet deep. And don't even think about breaking in, because their surveillance equipment could spot you from a mile away. Let's say a crafty thief somehow does manage to sneak past all of the state-of-the-art security measures. Well, the Corby family isn't too worried. Why? Well, that's because their house is like a Russian nesting doll. Except instead of more dolls, it's a smaller, even more secure house that's inside of the house. The Corby family is safer than the crown jewels in the Tower of London. Their sleeping quarters are nestled within an ultra-secure 2,500 square foot space that's essentially a completely ballistics-proof suite. The family's living in the 21st century, while the rest of us are stuck in medieval times. All they need now is a secret underground lair and a fancy car with an ejector seat. And it's impressive to see the lengths that Al Corby has gone to protect his family and property, because who knows, maybe one day we'll all be living in ultra-secure houses like this. In the meantime, we'll all have to just settle for that good old deadbolt. Number 13. Bill Gates' house. When you think of high-tech homes, you may think of Tony Stark's mansion or Bruce Wayne's Batcave, but don't underestimate Bill Gates, because he's got some tricks up his sleeve as well. Gates has invested in the latest security technology with heat detectors and cameras everywhere. It's like living in a science fiction film, only without the gargoyles in the basement. Maybe. And forget about keys. The invited guests will wear fancy pins that control everything, from the temperature to the coffee maker. In what world is this man even living? Who needs technology when you can just plant a forest? Gates has erected a wall of trees around his mansion like a natural fortress to keep the paparazzi at bay. And speaking of privacy, he takes it seriously. No one is allowed inside the gate, not even the delivery guy. The only way to get inside of the mansion is to shell out some serious cash, like it's a priceless artifact. And all of those proceeds do go to charity, because why not do some good while keeping your home a secret? One lucky intern from Microsoft got to see the inside of Gates' home, and of course, they wrote a blog post about it. Because if you don't share it on social media, did it even happen in the first place? We can only imagine what may be cooking in that big, beautiful basement. Number 12. Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Palace may look like your typical fancy schmancy building, but don't be fooled. This place is Fort Knox on steroids. Featuring 36 soldiers and 3 officers who are guarding it, you better believe that they mean business. And let's not forget about those 4-foot guards who strut their stuff when the royals are in town. They may be short, but they do pack a punch. Now we'll talk about the fashion. You've all seen those big furry hats that the guards wear? Well, they're not only a fashion statement, they're actually made from black bear fur and weigh up to 9 pounds. So it's no wonder the guards have fainted from heat and exhaustion while wearing them. And get this, the straps are worn under the mouth and not the chin, because if a guard falls, the weight of the hat could snap their neck. That's not all fun and games. Legend has it there are secret tunnels under the palace that lead to other important buildings within London. I'm talking about Whitehall, the House of Parliament, and the whole shebang. And if you're thinking of digging some secret tunnels of your own under your home, let's just say that your insurance and planning permissions may have a few choice words for you. And one cannot forget about the famous ring guard system. It's like a game of guardception. Each guard is guarding the guard that's next to them, so who is guarding the guy next to them, and so on. This makes math sound like a real treat. If you're ever in London, just be sure to swing by Buckingham Palace. It's not only a pretty place, it's a fortress of epic proportions. Number 11. The Zombie Bunker. Are you worried about the impending zombie apocalypse? Well, look no further than the Zombie House. This London-based house is like a fortress that's straight out of The Walking Dead, but with some better interior design. The Zombie Bunker, as it's called, has solid concrete walls that move, making it virtually impenetrable to zombies. But that's not all. The walls and windows are also backed up with thick iron sheets, because why not? The only way in or out is through a drawbridge system that even the brainless undead would have trouble finding. The only thing that's missing is a moat that's full of alligators, but we can all keep hoping. Designed by a Polish architect, this house takes home security to a whole new level. The walls can seal shut with movable concrete walls, making it practically a fortress. And don't worry, it's not only for zombies. This house can keep out virtually anyone that you don't want coming in, from burglars to nosy neighbors and more. But the real magic is in the remote-controlled system that moves every part of the house, from the concrete walls to the aluminum entrance gate. So whether you're worried about zombies, burglars, or just need a really secure place to hide from your ex, the Zombie Bunker has got you covered in every way. Number 10. The Tardigrade House. Have you heard of the Tardigrade House? It's the ultimate doomsday bunker that's disguised as a house. Built by one big genius architect, this bad boy can withstand earthquakes, fires, floods, and even the apocalypse. Taking its inspiration from the microscopic water bug and the mighty tardigrade, a beetle-like creature that's known for its ability to survive in extreme conditions, this house has been built to last. Its walls are made of rastra, a concrete that's mixed with recycled coffee cups, meaning that you can enjoy your morning coffee and help save the planet at the same time. The interior is supported by struccolite, a flexible plaster that can bend and sway with the Earth's movements. It's like living in a giant jello mold, except it's not going to collapse during an earthquake. The Tardigrade House also features a massive sailfish-like fin, which not only looks cool but also serves as a rain cowl and a windbreaker to protect the windows and doors. And speaking of cool, the interior is accessible for wheelchair users and also features a flagstone path that leads to the front door, making it easy for anyone to enter. Perhaps the future of good home living is in sustainably thrilling mansions. Number 9. The White House. Where do we even begin with the fortress that is the White House? It's the most popular and secure building in the world, a combination that's as rare as a unicorn riding a rainbow while a shark's in its saddle. A place is so well guarded that even the squirrels have to make a reservation to enter the grounds. And don't even think about trying to sneak in through the roof unless you want to meet the Secret Service counter sniper team who will greet you with their specially built weapons and equipment. The White House is protected by a 15-mile flight-restricted zone, complete with missile launchers that will shoot down any aircraft that it thinks it can defy the rules of the U.S. Air Force. And if that's not enough to deter you, the windows of the White House are bulletproof and can resist a large number of direct impacts made with semi-automatic weapons. It only gets better from there, though. The White House complex is surrounded by a 10.8-foot fence that's upgraded with special sensors, allowing security to know when pressure is applied on the bars. And if you're thinking of climbing over the fence, you might as well wear a sign that says, "Arrest me now." If you're lucky enough to make it past all of those security measures, you're still going to need to make a reservation at least 21 days in advance to visit. It's almost like trying to get tickets to a Taylor Swift concert, except instead of singing, you'll be a real-life anti-hero. In short, the White House is more secure than Area 51 and Wakanda combined. If you're planning to infiltrate, well, just don't. Number 8. Fairfield Estate. Move over, Buckingham Palace, because the Fairfield Estate is going to give you a run for your money as one of the largest homes in the world. This colossal estate has not only one, not only two, but several houses, which also includes a playhouse and 2 pool houses. Talk about being extra. With over 110,000 square feet of space, Fairfield is practically within its own zip code. But don't let the luxurious Hamptons location fool you. This is not your grandma's beach cottage. The home of this billionaire art collector is worth a whopping $200 million, featuring art that's inside worth roughly 3 times that. So naturally, he's had to up his security game a bit to protect all that wealth. The estate is equipped with high-tech security gates, 1,000 cameras that watch every nook and cranny, and bulletproof windows that would make even James Bond jealous. It's almost like Fairfield is a museum within itself, with priceless artworks at every turn. And while the average person may be content with a basic home security system, the owner takes it to the next level. Because who needs a guard dog when you have an entire team of security personnel patrolling your compound? It's clear that for him, when it comes to security, it's better to be safe than sorry, or even broke. Number 7. Ryeongsong Palace Fortress. Now, you're not going to find a more exclusive gated community than this one in North Korea. This luxurious compound, built by North Korea's then leader in 1983, is designed to protect the heirs of the Kim family, and it has more layers of defense than a celebrity's entourage. The sprawling compound, covering an area of 12.9 square kilometers, is surrounded by dense woods, fences, walls, and more security guards than a Justin Bieber concert. The only way in is through a special train station or a single access point from a highway, and good luck trying to sneak in through one of the annexes or by any other means. Its security detail is top-notch. The Supreme Guard Command, an elite security unit of over 120,000 soldiers, is responsible for keeping Kim Jong-un and his family safe. They have electrified fences, walls, and ditches, as well as observation posts and machine gun emplacements. You know, all the usual stuff that everyone has. But that's not all. The compound is so well protected that it has its own air defense system that could rival the Death Star. With 19 surface-to-air missile sites and around 400 to 500 anti-aircraft artillery batteries, the compound's airspace is probably the most well-defended in history. There's even a 4th ring of AAA batteries specifically for the palace, which is a bit of an overkill, I think. And if that wasn't enough, it has its own leadership train station that connects to 20 others across the country. So, if you're thinking about trying to break in, you might as well just stick to playing video games. Because let's face it, you've got a better chance of getting into Kim's compound in Fortnite than in real life. Number 6. Indian Creek Island. Hold on to your fancy yacht hats and get ready to be wowed by the ultimate billionaire's paradise. Welcome to Indian Creek Island, where money flows like champagne at a Hollywood party. However, this is no ordinary island. Oh no, it's a fortress of exclusivity where only the world's richest can afford to live. With properties that are worth an average of $20 million and a record-breaking sale of $50 million, the place is like a gold mine for the super rich. And with only 41 waterfront properties to choose from in the area, it's a fierce battle of the wallet to secure a slice of this high-end paradise. But what really sets Indian Creek apart from your average millionaire's playground is the security, because wow, do they take it seriously. The island is guarded by a 13-person private police force who patrols it like they're training for an alien invasion. I'm talking about boats, jeeps, jet skis, all 24 hours a day. You'd have better luck sneaking past the Secret Service guarding the president than getting onto this island without an invite. And don't even get me started on the hyper-exclusive 18-hole golf course. You'll need to have the secret password, your firstborn child, and a golden ticket just to get in. However, once you're there, you can bask in the glory of being surrounded by fellow billionaires who all share one thing in common: an obscene amount of money. If you're a fan of the rich and famous, then Indian Creek Island is your playground. With a population of only 87 people and a history of being the 8th highest income in the United States, you may just bump into a celebrity or two on your morning jog. Just make sure that you bring your A game, because the competition for being the most fabulous is fierce. Number 5. Maximum Security Mansion. Welcome to the Maximum Security Mansion in Evergreen, Colorado. Now, if you think about it, it's not very creative, but it's literally the maximum amount of security that one can get. Just like a bank vault, but built with a pool. This place is so secure that you can't even enter without submitting your fingerprints, a DNA sample, and a sworn affidavit that you won't steal anything. You might as well be applying to become the president himself. Perhaps the best part of all of it, though, is that you can take a virtual tour of the mansion with just your iPhone and a few login details. It's like you're playing a video game, but instead of Call of Duty, it's called Grand Theft Mansion. And if you think that you can get away with anything, well, think again. This mansion has sensors everywhere that can detect even the tiniest of movements. You can't even breathe without setting off an alarm. It probably also knows what you did last summer. But don't worry, accidents do happen, and that's why the house is equipped with sensors that can detect everything from a kitchen fire to a bathroom flood. It's like a robot nanny that's always watching over you, ready to tattle on you at any moment. But we still need a verdict of whether or not it's safe or just plain creepy. Number 4. Kronstadt Fort Alexander. Kronstadt is the city of rebels, farewells, and mysteries. It's like the cool kid in school who wore bell-bottoms wider than permitted and had a rebellious streak that made them the talk of the town. You see, Kronstadt was closed to the public up until 1996, which only added to its darkness and mystery but thrilling reputation, like a Wattpad vampire bad boy. Rumor has it that they ruled with their own law and order and wouldn't tolerate any kind of outsiders. It was like they were their own little country, and you simply needed an invitation from a resident just to visit. But don't even think about complaining, because they also had secrets that could make the CIA blush. And they have the Kronstadt Fort Alexander, the ultimate fortress of fortresses. This stunning structure was built to keep unwanted visitors away from St. Petersburg in Russia, and let me tell you, it does that job very well. There are nearly 40 forts in the area, but Kronstadt Fort Alexander is the king of them all. People have tried to take it over in the past, but it's just well too secure. You may as well give up and save yourself the trouble. The fort has military installations with piles that are 12 meters long and dig deep into the ocean, and that's only the beginning of its security measures. There are 5,535 of these piles, and they're indestructible. That's right, these piles have more layers than a Kardashian's makeup routine. The first layer would be sand, the second concrete, and the third being granite. And even though the fort is now abandoned, don't even think about making a day trip, because it's not worth it. It would be like wasting your time and energy just like making a TikTok video. Number 3. Kardashian's house. In a world where Instagram likes mean more than a warm meal, Kim Kardashian has realized that security is as important as a good filter. After the infamous Paris robbery where she was held at gunpoint, she's taken her security to the next level, making Fort Knox look like a child's playhouse. No one's allowed to approach her Hidden Hills fortress without a full-body search and background check, leaving even her most eager fans feeling as though they're trying to get through the TSA. And if you do make it past the security guards, don't expect to be welcomed with open arms, because there's a security pod in the garage that's ready to take you down at a moment's notice. Kim's house is less of a fairy tale castle and more of a fortress. The property is surrounded by motion detectors and hidden cameras, making it easier to spot a rogue paparazzi than a needle in a haystack. And let's not forget about the safe room, where Kim can retreat to in case of an emergency. Because let's face it, sometimes that like button can lead to danger. However, don't worry, Kim doesn't have to face the harsh reality of the world alone. She has a team of security guards that are as loyal to her as she is to her contour kit. They follow her every move and are always on alert, ready to tackle any threat that may come her way. And so, if you're ever in Hidden Hills, just know that getting to Kim's house is harder than getting a Birkin bag. And once you're there, the security is tighter than her leggings. Number 2. Diefenbunker. Have you ever heard of the Diefenbunker? Well, no, it's not the name of a new heavy metal band. It's Canada's very own fortress of solitude, a massive ultra-secure underground bunker that was built during the Cold War to protect the country's top politicians and military personnel from a nuclear attack. And let me tell you, the place is straight up wild, and it may well even be able to withstand a meteor strike. Located in Carp, Ontario, only a stone's throw away from the nation's capital, this bunker is like a secret lair in some Egyptian tomb. The only thing that's visible from above is a metal entrance tunnel and a perimeter fence, so you know it's the real deal, and once you get inside, things only get more sci-fi from there. This thing was designed to be totally self-sufficient. It features everything from a natural water supply to a high-tech HVAC system to radiation and blast detection. It's like an entire little city down there. And if you're worried about running out of snacks, well, fear not, because the bunker has you covered with its very own food processing and garbage disposal systems. There's even a CBC studio, in case you need to do some post-apocalyptic broadcasting. But here's the sad part, it's no more serving its purpose and is now open to the public. Number 1. The Atlas Missile Silo House. Now, do we have a cozy little property for you? It's nestled within the picturesque Saranac, New York, and you're going to love it. You see, underneath the wooden facade lies a Cold War-era missile silo, and it's not just for show. Back in the day, it was a control center for actual missiles. Those missiles may be long gone, or so they say, but fear not, because the accessible parts of the underground structure have been transformed into living accommodations. Now you can live your best life inside of a bomb shelter, and what could be more thrilling? The Atlas Missile Silo House is chock full of blast doors and original control panels, so you know it's the real deal. And if living underground is not your cup of tea, well, no worries, because the above-ground parts of the property are super secluded. So, they come complete with a runway and a few other buildings, and you'll be well defended if and when the apocalypse comes. But seriously, this property is no joke when it comes to security, and in today's world, who wouldn't want to feel a little more secure? So come on down to Saranac and make yourself at home in this bomb shelter turned cozy dwelling. Thanks for joining us. Did this make you feel paranoid about your own security? Let me know all about it in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.